speaking of not really giving a damn, the Broncos didn't really give a damn about Russell Wilson.
And why is that? What happened
Well,
there?
it's simply because the play didn't match up to the contract. Even though he's had a pretty good season, better
His
than the
numbers are
last few,
good.
better than the last few, but in terms of what he's guaranteed and everything, like here's the thing. So the media has been big on like just this topic, right? They're putting out the narrative that Russell's getting fucked over, this and that. I can see both sides of it because if you're looking at it from the Broncos' perspective, it's a lot of guarantees right there,
Mm-hmm.
and especially the money he's getting. Yes, he's having a good season. It's just not. It's not playing out the way it should be, bro.
Well, if whatever's happening, like them benching makes the contract so they don't have to pay him, that's the contract.
So he's still getting paid, but the issue was by the time I think it was June 1 or whatever, whenever the new league year starts, or end of March or whatever. If he suffers an injury around that time, he gets owed 37 point something million dollars. But my problem with this whole thing is that, like, okay, you paid him on what you think he used to be in Seattle. Even his last few years in Seattle, shit was hitting the fan, and it was clear and obvious. So you knew what the contract was, and it's not realistic to think he's getting back to that form. Why would you even put those terms into question?
Get the deal done. And if you can loophole your way out of it, then that's the way the contract goes. Should have had Lamar's mom representing you.
That's business.
For real.
Business is business. So they standing on it.
I didn't realize how similar his contract was to the Derek Carr, even though Russell Wilson got, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, he got paid more than that Derek Carr
I'm
contract.
pretty sure.
But you give him a no trade clause, and I think they started to say, well, first off, I think this whole thing was generating since day one when Sean Payton got hired in there. He didn't want him there.
No, I didn't want him kissing babies.
But he tried making the best out of the situation. They started 1-5, started winning a couple games. Still to this day, even though the percentage is low, they still got a shot at making the fucking playoffs. But they're looking ahead here, and I think this was already spoken about. So Diana Rossini says, or Josina Anderson, one of the two, came out and said that all this their contract renegotiation talk, restructure talk, happened after the Chiefs game going into the bye. And Russell was like, no, this is the contract. We're going to stick with it.
Deal's a deal.
Yeah. So I can't blame him
As he
for that. I
should.
would have done
No.
the same thing. Yeah.
Kick rocks.
So, for real. And if you didn't want this
Go
to
open
happen,
up
then
some
you
more
shouldn't have
Walmarts,
signed. Yeah. So, like, it got into a mess, and Sean Payton tried to make it work, but you knew from day one he didn't want Russell Wilson as the quarterback. So it was gotten to this point, and I think they even said Russell Wilson knew at that point, like, it's good. This is going to end ugly pretty soon.
I saw allegedly Russell Wilson liked some tweets saying that he should go back to the Seahawks.
Yeah, he's liked a few tweets. Which, if you look at the Seattle situation, after everything that happened, do you take him back?
I don't think he
No.
would go back there. I think it would be a
No.
disaster, but
Right.
he is better than Geno Smith and Drew Lock.
But at that point for Seattle, just draft the quarterback.
Which they probably will.
They've been too good. They've won too many games.
You still draft a quarterback no matter where you're at.
Russ
Yeah.
come back, feed DK, JSN. Good old times.
No.
Like the olden days.
I think the olden days are done. But, anyways,
One
like,
thing left is Bobby Wagner.
so if
And he won a chip and came back, so.
so, obviously Russell Wilson and Denver Broncos are done. It's
Done.
clear as day as it stands right now. If you're any other quarterback, like a free agent quarterback, and Denver has interest in you, after seeing all this play out, why would you want to go sign there?
Well, if they give you the bag,
Oh, other than that, but
then
The
take
bag-
it away.
as we see it, the bag might not be the
They
bag.
might snatch the bag back from you.
There's loopholes around everything.
You gotta hit up Lamar's mom.
No, seriously, like you seen that shit. Even if you do have a decent season, you're performing pretty well, and your team has a shot at the playoffs.
Playoff.
2 weeks out of the playoffs. Actually, we're thinking about our financial future here, and yeah, we don't care about the playoffs. We don't even care about going to win another Super Bowl. We care about our money first and foremost, and we don't feel like paying you $37 million if you get injured next season. We might have a run to go on this thing, but we don't want to do that. So hit the curb, pal.
Yeah, if you watch the tape on Russell Wilson, they ain't winning nothing with that guy.
They're not.
You're right. I agree with that. But if you're still in it, why the fuck are you doing this right now?
I'll say this: if you're a Broncos fan, are you happy or sad that they're doing this? I would be happy.
I think they would have been happy midway through the season when they were losing games before they finally figured it out.
Well, hey, better late than never. Or
This
you
whole
want them
thing
to keep playing and be like, Russell Wilson's our guy until 2027. Like, come on, bro.
But it's not even just wait and see if you even get in the playoffs or not.
Yeah, and then you talk business.
So here's another thing, right? I don't know what other quarterbacks they have on the roster or practice squad or
Probably
anything.
some bad ones.
But with the way this season has been, all these backup quarterbacks coming in and playing, and these starting quarterbacks getting hurt, which, by the way, only 3 teams in the AFC that had their quarterback start this season are still playing now. The rest are injured. So with the way this season has been with the quarterback injuries, let's say, God forbid, Jarrett Stidham goes down. Russell Wilson ain't going to want to fucking go back in there and play. Are you kidding me?
No, not after you put him on blast like this.
Yeah. So what are you going to do then?
So
Even though their playoff chances, like I said, after losing to the fucking Patriots, which they had their opportunities to win, they dropped down to like 15 or 7%, some shit like that. It's higher than 0. They still got a shot at making the playoffs, and they decided to bench their starting quarterback without even fully confirming if they're eliminated from the dance or not.
they have 3 quarterbacks: Russell Wilson, Jarrett Stidham, and Ben DiNucci.
Talk about real Italian right there.
Danucci. Call up Brock Osweiler.
Don't actually.
This whole thing is a mess, bro.
Have Trevor Siemian play back-to-backs.
So, where do you see the future of Russell Wilson? Where's he going? If he had to think of a team right now, obviously things are going to change. And shit, things are obviously going to change in 3 months. Shit's a lot's going to change in a week. So, if you could think of a team right now that could use Russell Wilson's services going into next season, who would it be?
I got 2.
Okay.
Atlanta. New England. If Belichick is there, Russell Wilson seems like the kind of guy that is going to be Mr. Class Pet to Bill Belichick. And Atlanta, they won too many games. They're not going to have any options.
I know they got new owners, but if Ron Rivera's the coach, you're like, yeah, I know Russell Wilson, dude. He's a good quarterback.
All right, well, he's stuck in 2014.
He's a good quarterback,
Whoa.
man. He's won Super Bowl, man.
We can all agree that Ron Rivera will definitely not be there next season.
I hope not.
They were saying Washington as a spot, but don't do that to Washington, bro.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I would still take Russell Wilson over some of these starting quarterbacks right now, but
I wouldn't.
he's not in the same lead as what he used to be, and that's what the Broncos were
I think
banking
he's
on.
a backup now. Like I think if I
No way.
I think he's
See,
a backup.
Yes.
If I had a young quarterback, if I drafted a young quarterback, or I had a young quarterback that I'm not sure about, I would go get him as my insurance policy and also let him work with my new quarterback. And
He's a
just
good
say,
guy.
"Russ, like we're
I
gonna
just
pay
don't
you
see him
good,
doing
but
that.
we want you here. We want you part of the system. We want your knowledge. Like respect the talent, but you ain't a starting quarterback anymore."
And if you won't accept that,
And
welcome
if
to
our
the
guy-
XFL.
If the new guy ends up stinking, then you're gonna get your shot.
I just don't. I disagree. I think he's still a starter in this league for sure.
I just think his options. Are limited.
I mean, over time they will, but
Nobody good's gonna want him.
No.
Well, if you're good already, then you already got your
But
quarterback.
if Joe Flacco has a job
Right.
right now, Russ has to get one somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. Respect to Joe Flacco. Like I said, I still think Russell Wilson still has something
he's
left
top
in the
20.
tank. But those days of him coming in and closing games out and him being the reason why you win are over. That's probably the best way to put it.
Rather have him or Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
I'd
Yep.
have Kirk, yeah.
Same.
Healthy Kirk.
It's not that good.
So if you ask me what teams I think,
Would you rather have him or Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy.
What?
He's sitting
You
at
said
it.
what?
He's
Brock
sitting at
Purdy.
18th in yards.
That's- But who's he better than? Like, would you say top 20? Did you say that?
You rather have him or
Yeah,
Justin
but
Fields?
I agree, top
Like,
20. I'd rather
he's
have
not.
Russ.
He's at the bottom. He's 18th, 19th in the depth chart in quarterbacks in this league, right? Who's he better?
That's a
than?
starting job.
And 2 of them are injured.
Right.
I'll say 3 because Kyler Murray didn't play half the year.
That's why I think he's got a chance of going to a team that's worried about if their guy's the guy.
Atlanta, he starts. I'm talking about teams right now. Let me pull up the list of teams here.
Atlanta, Commanders,
Steelers.
Steelers.
He starts in Pittsburgh for sure.
All right, let's talk since they have similar contracts. Him or Derek Carr?
All right, no, here we go.
Mm, I'd rather have Russell Wilson.
He starts in New England.
Sure.
Without Aaron Rodgers, he starts on the Jets.
But Aaron Rodgers is
Aaron
there.
Rodgers come back.
Okay.
He's gonna get hurt in game
Doesn't
2
count.
this time.
Let's pretend everyone has their starters.
Now, let's pretend everyone has their starters. Starts in New England.
Yep. Still,
I'd start him over Deshaun Watson. He'll start in Cleveland.
I'd rather have Deshaun Watson.
He'll start in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yeah.
He'll start in Tennessee.
Yes, I hate all their quarterbacks.
I won't count the Broncos, obviously. He'd start in Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
He'd start for the Giants. He'd start for the Commanders. He'd start for the Bears.
Giants, no.
For the Bears?
Danny Dimes better than him.
Yes, he would start for the Bears.
For the
No,
Bears?
Justin Fields is better than him.
Come on.
Justin
Starts
Fields-
for the
But they're in
Falcons.
the le-
Can I?
they're
Let
in-
me
they're
finish.
6
No.
and
Let me finish.
Finish.
Let me finish. I'm gonna keep going. He starts for the Falcons. He starts for the Panthers.
I guess. If
He
he's just-
starts for the Saints.
Yes.
Controversial.
I would say yes. Maybe.
They're
that's-
very
So
similar.
that's 11 teams.
There you go.
That's a great
So
chunk.
he's 19th or 20th in the league.
Yeah, like we said. So
20th.
he's
Got a
going to
downgrade
get a
backers.
job next year for sure.